Welcome to this video. So in this video, I'll be showing us how to create a simple summary table for a single user using the sample use superstore data in Tableau. So oftentimes we don't wonder how to create just the summary table. Maybe you want to deliver and you want to create a delivery note for a particular customer, but just a simple text table and not just the usual cost tab. How do you go about it in Tableau? All right, so let's go to the sheet, a new sheet, and I've connected to the sample use superstore datasets. That's quite familiar. Usually what we do is, okay, I need a customer name and I will drag it into the rows. And since it's a single customer, we'll come to filters and possibly filter based on the username or customer name. So let's clear this and just select the first one and apply. And there we have it. So our aim is just to create a simple delivery notes or summary table. Now we've created this test sheet. So when we come to the show me section, you can see that it's only highlighting the table as the option for us for this particular purpose or use. And when you over it, you see that you need one or more dimensions or one or more measures. All right, so when you put that in and let's just close this, and you decide to put in, because it's customer information based, so maybe customer ID, just to give a summary, and you want to know the total discount you've given to the customer, drag it into the pane as well and change to discrete. So you have this one there, and you want to have the total quantity of goods that have been purchased so far, and I will change this to discrete as well. Okay, so I don't want it to look this way, because if I come to entire view, it just looks so bare and it's not giving me that compacted look. And so what I would do is to possibly switch, and when I switch, this is what it gives me. And is again, every of the column name is just putting slashes and it just compresses everything. And the reason why Tableau always make this the first option to always have column names this way is so that it can take as many more customers as you had. For example, if I decide to edit this filter and choose Aaron Hawkins, apply, so you can see that it keeps growing by adding more rows to each of the columns. So let's reverse that. So if I decide to make it this way, if I decide to add one more user, two more, let's see what that applies to. And you see that it keeps building on columns and columns. That's why it's been able to compress the column names together, and you have your details in here so that it can populate more records on the columns and goes on from left to right. So that's the reason why it's designed this way. So it puts into consideration more than one customer. However, we want just one single customer because we just want to create a delivery note and just have all the necessary details for that single customer. And this is what I wanted to have. So that brings us to how we can add as many columns or measures to it. So let's decide to say, okay, let's use this option of using measure names and clear this visualization and say, okay, I need the customer name. Yeah, I'm fine with the customer name. I just want a single customer. Okay, Mr. Heron Bergman, and we hit apply. And I decide to say, okay, let me just drag in measure names and see what it's going to give me, and measure values into this pane. It's still the same. I switch over and this is looking more like it, but not yet there. I decide to expand this as well. So it's not really tidy because it's still fine. I have a single column, and again, I can put the measure values as well in the text, and I say, okay, fine, this is good. But I want the customer ID to appear there because this measure name is just giving me measures only. I don't want sales. I want quantity. I want discounts, maybe possibly others. Let's use this, remove this calculated field. Fine, this is looking like it. If I tidy it up more, possibly hide this one, and hide label or not show header, and maybe put the customer name here. But I want the customer ID to come in here. So once I put that in text, it's just messes up the whole thing. So I don't want the customer name in the title, because that's an option. I can decide to say, okay, let me put the customer ID or in the details, or name in the details, and I insert the customer ID and say okay. But that's not what I want, but we can improvise. But that's not exactly what I want. So let's just go straight into the video, and I haven't explored all the options. So what I did is to create a calculated field, and in this calculated field I just put in 0. This will help us structure the sheet. All right, so I'm going to drag in the sheet, the calculated field into the rows, and I'm going to drag in 4 because I need 4 details. Drag in as many times as you need information. So I need 4 just for information. Now it has created axis for me. I'll come to the first one and I'll come to the label. So I'll drag in the customer name, and yes, I have the customer name here, but I'll manually type customer name into the text because it's just going to give me the value. So you can give him as much space as you want. So apply and say okay, cool. Now it's not showing me everything because in this field I have multiple customer names. So again, this is only applicable for just one customer. So I'll put my customer name as filter so that I can filter just only Mr. Aaron Birchman, and I say okay. Now I've been able to apply just Mr. Aaron. I'll come in here again and edit appropriately. Let's take that again, Mr. Aaron. Now it's showing, so I can decide to expand this as well, but we won't be needing that. I'll put in the customer name manually, customer name, and it's this. So I can bold in the customer name, put spaces between. I'll bold in it here, apply and say okay, and I will change this to bar because bar is more aligned. Now you can see that is at the top now. We can do interview at the end of the day. I'll come to the second one. I'll put the customer ID in the label, and I'll also manually type customer ID inside the text box. Pardon my spelling. Okay, so this is ID, and I put in space, go on and on, apply, and can bold in this as well. Make sure that it's aligned with the other ones that you've done, and there we have it. Okay, so we have that on the second row, and I can change this as to bar as well. And we go on to have the profit or quantity. Let's choose discounts. Yeah, let's use discounts, and I'll come in here again and add discounts. Give it adequate spacing, and I'll make this bold and hit apply and say okay. There we have it, and you can put in the currency if you want. I'll put in pounds in here and say okay. Now we're giving that summary for that customer, and I'll come in here and say maybe total orders that the customer has made so far. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, let's just use orders there, and it says 24 orders, and we'll come in here and say orders, or total orders. I'm just toggling within capital letter. My spelling has been messy. All right, total, and we'll make this bold and apply and say okay. You can see that it's not properly aligned. We'll give it more spacing, so just a little formatting here and there, and you're good to go. So I'll say okay, and we are fine. So you can hit on this line to give it whatever color you want. I will prefer, maybe let's just use orange, and I will make this none so that it will know that I'm not using a border or whatever. The same thing goes for this one, none. We can put a border if you want it to be bigger, and yeah, we go on and on like that. Orange, none. And so if you leave as automatic, sometimes it doesn't appear, the color doesn't come out. But yeah, if you can leave as is. Now we just want to get rid of this column called calculations, and we come in here and I click on tick show header, and now we do not have header because this is the header for every other fields. And you can just edit sheet name to say maybe purchase summary notes, for the insert the customer name, then hit apply. Then you can make it bold and format as you want, underline, wherever it is. Okay, it doesn't, yeah, underline and apply. Okay, so it's still the same, so we can make this entire view, and there we have it. We can centralize this as well to make it at the center. Yes, okay, I need to underline together by highlighting, and there we have this notes in here. So we can go ahead to create our dashboard and drag it into the dashboard, and we have this one, and this was the one I prepared earlier. Let's put a border around this to make it come out the more border. Then you can give it a pattern and thickness, and yeah, there we have it compared to the one I developed before. So you can create something like this in Tableau without exhausting much of your time. So thanks for watching. I hope you learned one or two things. Bye bye.